We have a couple of clips of possible Trump VPs absolutely humiliating themselves on camera by being unable to answer even the simplest of questions and contradicting themselves in their attempts to do so, starting with J.D. Vance.
Senator, if former President Trump were to win, if you were to be his vice president, would you support him appointing a special prosecutor to go after his political enemies, the Bidens?
Well, first of all, Kristen, I find it interesting how much the media and the Democrats have lost their mind over this particular quote. Donald Trump is talking about appointing a special prosecutor to investigate Joe Biden for wrongdoing. Joe Biden has done exactly that.
Just to be very clear, though, Joe Biden didn't appoint a special prosecutor. The attorney general did that. Trump was indicted by grand juries. He was found guilty by a jury of his peers in New York. But can we just go back to the core question here? Would you support him taking such an action? It sounds like you're saying, yes, you would.
I would absolutely support investigating prior wrongdoing by our government. Absolutely. That's what you have to have in a system of law and order, Kristen.
Now, this is especially funny because it represents a stance the majority of MAGA holds. They claim to be for law and order, but are supporting a felon who committed fraud, attempted election interference, and did sexual assault, but one who also pledges to appoint a special prosecutor with the sole purpose of targeting Biden and his family. But then they cry that the left is the ones targeting Trump, even though there's no connection to be drawn between Biden or any of Trump's charges. Biden has never said anything like Trump said there. A grand jury of Americans indicted Trump and a jury of Americans convicted him, yet that's supposed to be political persecution, and we're all supposed to believe that. But Trump appointing a special prosecutor specifically to target Biden is just justified in their eyes. Do you think they'd be saying that if Biden had came out and said, I'm appointing a special prosecutor to go after Trump? Or if he just did that, do you think they'd be saying, well, it's justified, it's what the president can do? Or do you think that would be their smoking gun proof that he's being targeted? This is in the same vein as MAGA cheering on Trump, saying lock her up about Hillary, having Trump then going to have his DOJ investigate Hillary for months. There were 6 different times that they looked into Hillary, only to find absolutely no wrongdoing worth charging her for, and then for him to just turn around and say weaponizing the DOJ is wrong when they can't even prove that Biden has done that, yet there's plenty of proof that Trump did.
Is that what Project 2025 is? Is it ideological lunacy?
No, I think it's the work of a think tank, of a center-right think tank, and that's what think tanks do.
Project 2025, that stands to ban abortion pills nationwide, restrict fertilization treatments for women and their family, defund the Department of Education, mass deport immigrants, separate families in detention camps of immigrants, put guns in classrooms, and go after marriage equality for same-sex couples is just center-right, not extreme right ideology. It's just center-right, according to a possible Trump VP. And even Trump himself knows that Project 2025 is a bad publicity look, publicly now trying to state on his social medias that he has no idea about it or who's behind it, even though he's done multiple pressers and events with Kevin Roberts, the president of the Heritage Foundation, with the Heritage Foundation is the one who wrote Project 2025. And he also worked with the Heritage Foundation in his first administration to pass the Schedule F executive order that allowed him to at will fire government employees. And the rest of it, those who are behind Project 2025, all work in his campaign and all aided or advised in his administration in 2016. Literally every single one. You can just add that to the 30,000 lies that Trump has told. And I mean, that's down to his press secretary literally starring in the recruitment ads for Project 2025.
We've been working with all of them on one project since soon after Joe Biden took the oath of office, before any conservative presidential candidates had even entered the race. As my friend and colleague Paul Dans before talked about briefly, our Project 2025 has developed a comprehensive policy agenda, but even more importantly, recruiting people, 20,000 people to go into the next administration, hopefully to help take back this country for you and for your audiences. We want no credit. We want the American people, if President Trump is elected again, President Trump and his administration, to take credit for that. But it will also be a great sign, if all of this is successful, that in fact, as we know in our prayer time, but maybe not every time when we're watching the news, that the Lord is still smiling upon America.
And if you need any more proof that what Trump said was a lie, that was Kevin Roberts, again, president of the Heritage Foundation, writers of the Project 2025, opening for Trump at a rally stating that he's worked with Trump on Project 2025 since 2021 and that Trump will enact it if he's elected and that he deserves all the credit for the project. This is why it's more important than ever to keep this liar and these maniacs out of the White House and thus rendered unable to do such a dangerous agenda and actually put it into law.